United States. And what's really interesting about it is to me, the European Joes, you know, the England Palatoy and Action Team and all that stuff pretty much stayed similar to the G.I. Joe line, but the South of the Border stuff really kind of takes a different bent. So let's go to the first slide there, and I want to start off with a little story. First of all, I'm going to tell you guys this. If you guys saw my speech last year about G.I. Joes around the world, you're going to have there's probably about 20 slides that you've probably already seen and a couple things. But the lesson I want to start off with today is about Cheerios. And we can thank General Mills for spreading the license of G.I. Joe. They really are the one that bought they had a license, and they're the ones that own Kenner and all that. So I like to kind of say thank you to General Mills for spreading G.I. Joe all around. So the next slide I'd like to see is we're going to rip through these next couple ones real quick and give you a couple examples. I don't know if you guys remember the Bionic Man and the $6 Million Man. This was owned by Kenner, and Kenner was a General Mills company at the time, and they're the ones that licensed. So go ahead and hit that next slide. And this was their vehicle for the $6 Million Man. Hit this next slide. And then go ahead and go next. Oh my God, they made it in Action Man. Oh my God, how did the Palatoy get into Action Man? We'll switch to the channel again. And there's the close-up of that. And then let's see the next slide. And there is the Levy from Mexico, Ultra Car. And that actually has images of G.I. Joe stuff into the control panel, which is really, really interesting. And go ahead to the next slide. And that is that Lily Letty car that's almost identical to the Space Sled from Palatoy, as well as the $6 million vehicle. So go ahead to the next slide. And you can see how they actually took the artwork, and if you rotate a little spinner, that'll give you a different picture on each one. But that's actually like a Polar Explorer, I believe. Okay, the next slide. This is a Lily Letty soldier, and what's really interesting about him is that he looks pretty much like a G.I. Joe. But after the show, after this speech is over, please come to my booth. And I've got a whole bunch of physical samples that we can look at, and you can actually see how the Letty head is almost the color looks weird, it's almost translucent. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The hat that came with it was marked Made in Canada. I'm assuming this is correct. That's the other thing I want to tell you guys. I have bought a bunch of stuff and collections, and I have learned that some of it is, like everything, is a little bit pieced together, but I'm trying to give you what I've learned and the generalization. So let's go to the next slide. This is their their pilot. And again, as you can see, it's very, very, very similar to G.I. Joe, except that he's got a Letty tag. And when you see the actual figure, you go, oh, that's not a G.I. Joe, it looks weird. And go ahead and go to the next slide. And this hat has no marking in it. I thought that was interesting. Very similar to like a Buddy Charlie type hat, but it's blue. Let's go to the next slide. And this is their fantastic free fall. And you can see it's got the Exception on the life vest. And what's funny about this is they took the best part of the Palatoy and put the little reserve chute up front, and then gave him the parachute pack in the back. We can go to the next slide. And here is the Navy attack. Again, you can kind of see a little bit of the sheen on his face, how different that is. And you look at that. Okay, go ahead to the next slide. And here's another sailor, and the bag has no markings on it at all. And again, it's a little bit of a strange looking figure with it. And the uniform is almost identical, but you can just, when you look at them side by side, you can tell they're slightly different. Let's go to the next one. This apparently is one of the rarest Mexican G.I. Joes out there. It's the deep sea diver box. Regrettably, I sold it and made a crazy amount of money on it, so I was surprised at how valuable it was. But it's really pretty damn neat, and it's interesting how the weather has kind of shrunk him up a little bit. Okay, we'll try the next one. And that's the staying figure loose. What's interesting about that is look at that axe. Or that, excuse me, sledgehammer. The sledgehammer has a different colored handle on top, as well as the flag on the bridge by the buoy is bright yellow. The map is also different. It's got, it's in Spanish, yeah. The next one. There is the Mexican soccer player. This is apparently very, very difficult to find. Super hard. Very rare. Next one. And these are the fuzz-head Letty guys, and I think this is really kind of interesting because the headstock changed, and it actually had a different head sculpt. And what's really weird about these figures is they all the bodies have a talking box, or a talking chest with like open holes on their chest, but very few are actually talkers, which is really bizarre. But you can see the stickers a little bit different. The shoulder holster is very different. It's similar in style, but it's got an actual like vinyl holster that would go over the strap. And these are 3 different variations of that. And go ahead to the next one. And this is the Letty Skyhawk. Very cool, different colors, great artwork. Okay, go to the next one. And this is the Breeches Boy from Mexico in a beautiful bright blue. And what's interesting about the buoy, which I found was, or the buoy itself, is the wheels are a different color. And what's really interesting to me is its strings. They used actual strings in the buoy, which if Hasbro would have done that, we'd have a lot more ones together. Okay, the next one. Oh, there's the buoy right there, the strings on it. Very similar. Obviously, they must have taken the original items and copied them. All right, next one. This is the Mountaineer. And what's really interesting about this guy is he's obviously got the tall white boots, which is similar to the astronaut boots. I will be honest with you guys, I can hardly tell the difference. I can't tell there's the Mexican boots and the white boots. So, take that for what you want. And then let's go to the next slide. And this is the accessories that came with it. What's interesting about the Letty stuff is it's generally just kind of poorly made. And much like anything south of the border, the quality control is just not anywhere near what it was in the United States, and even England and Europe. It seems like they just got it to get it out there as cheap as possible. But you can see stuff isn't straight, and the color is a little bit weird. You go to the next slide.
Was it all made in Mexico, eh?
That I do not know. I don't know where it was made. I was told that. But what's interesting is some of that earlier stuff is higher quality in construction than the later stuff. So I don't know. And this is an actually talking guy. And what's interesting is he came with a dog tag, but the talking mechanism is in the back. So you pull that out of the back. And I actually brought this guy with us. And that coloring is obviously different than the G.I. Joe Hasbro stuff. Okay, the next one. And this is their air adventure guy. This is actually the guy they have sitting in the that vehicle that I showed you guys earlier. Go to the next one. And there's the demo. So look at the paddles. I mean, that's cool. That's just a cool uniform, paddles. There's a whole lot that's to like about that set. And the goggles. What's interesting, those goggles are really light colored, super light colored goggles. Okay, the next one. And here's a soldier. I thought this guy was really interesting because he came with that slot in the back, but he's not a talker. So they must have put that on the uniform, and I don't know if it's the wrong figure or what, but that's just, now again, that's what I got. Okay, change next slide, please. This is probably my favorite Mexican Letty set.
Waldo.
Pardon?
Waldo.
It is Waldo.
Found.
And he has been found. And he's in Mexico. I know this one's very difficult to find. I'm not even sure the name of it, but I know that radio is slightly different than the Hasbro one. I think this was some sort of a special set or something like that. You had to get it at a special store or something. The raft itself has Action on it, and I brought the raft with it, and it's much larger than the G.I. Joe one, and it's a great thing to see just because it's actually more to scale for a Joe. Can we go to the next one? There's that raft. So, Okay, the next one. There's Waldo's cousin. Look at those eagle eyes, man. Is that not trippy? I mean, yeah, he had one too many last night, like me. But he's got the shoulder holster, and it's just really good. Kung Fu grip and all that. Let's go to the next one. There's another version of the air guy. Now look at that belt, guys. I'm just going to say that belt looks like a knockoff piece of junk that we've all seen a million times. And from what I can tell, that is correct. I know there's one on my Brazilian guy I'll show in a minute that is definitely legit. Did Leonardo make it in? Oh, you good? Dude, yeah.
If I may, the shoulder holster is that a regular 45 vinyl holster on a strap?
Yes, it is.
Do you have a image of that or an item?
I may have brought one of those with me. Like I said, some of you guys that walked in late, stop on my booth after this, and I brought a handful of samples and a handful of the carded items for you guys to look at. And I will tell you guys, all of these figures are really fragile. Like my Argentina guys that I brought are already falling apart. So, anyway, let's go to the next slide. Yes, what this is our buddy Bullet Man. Love the boots. Now wait till you see the next one, guys. Okay, now he's a little weird looking, but look at his boots. Now look at the next guy. Oh my God, he's got black vinyl boots. Look at his belt.
Oh yeah.
And the uniform cloth is different. It's more of a nylon-y thin thing. And Bullet Man still looks a little pale, doesn't have quite the coloring that the American one does. Now go to the next one. And then you can go see the boots are a little different. And then the next one, silver boots. Thank God James didn't see that before, you know. Anyway, so you can go to the next one. There it is from the side. Okay, we go to the next slide. Now we're going to Argentina. And Argentina has got some really interesting items. And I will say one thing about Argentina G.I. Joes. If you're really kind of get into, if you want to start purchasing South America stuff, really I think that Argentina stuff is the most available. It's pretty reasonable. You can find some of those cards. You can find the stuff a little bit more than you can the Brazilian stuff and the Mexican stuff.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
With the Lee, did they ever make a muscle body for those?
Yeah, if you notice, you'll see. Well, come look at the figures. And
Okay.
they're kind of muscle bodily. I mean, they're all kind of muscle bodily. You know, they're kind of. You'll see.
Okay.
This is the end of the Argentina guy, and this is the cowboy. And I've always had a thing for the cowboys and the Indians and all that stuff, and I always wanted G.I. Joe to do this. And you know, after learning what Daryl's talked about, they were gonna. But this is something that I think that they really did awesome down there. It's a great set. You can do the next slide. I love the holster. The holster is just super cool. Now granted, it's a little bell pistol in there, but they did the buckle and it's vinyl. And I brought this figure with me. The funny thing is why did he have that French gun? Or the Belgian 1949 gun? That gun comes up a lot in South America. They must have liked it down there. And I don't know if after the war, did the Belgians sell a lot to South America, but they're all in there. Okay, go to the next one. This is the 7th Cavalry. Look at the beard of the guy. The other thing I want to say about the figures, these guys are like all super, super loose, and the beard is really cool, and the coloring of the guy, he's a little bit browner than the Mexican guy. And he also has the French gun, which I think is ironic for the 7th Cavalry. Anyway, the next shot. Here are his pistols. Look at that high-quality Hong Kong pistol. The guns down there they're just pieces of. You throw them, you think they're junk. I mean, you really do. You think that they're knockoffs, but they're actually made. Okay, you go to the next one. This is a ski set. This is actually a pretty common set. It's really easy to find this far online, but what's really fantastic about it, it's got metal ski poles.
Oh
my God, why didn't Hasbro think of that? Well, probably because it was going to kill some kid. But anyway, you can get this gun. There's actually a couple of different guns that come with it. There are some variations, but it's just a different gun. You can go to the next one.
Ace, is that the same head as on the cavalry guy?
Yeah.
Same bearded head?
Yeah.
Do they use that a lot?
And they did use that a lot, but not exclusively. And I can't, is Becker in here? He's got a lot of these things, and he's picked out some in the box still. And I've only got 2 guys in the box, and I don't know if they all came in the box, or they got the figures, or how all that worked out. But this is their combat guy, and I find him really interesting. He's got a hard plastic helmet, very similar to kind of the 21st century stuff, and then the black belt is just like the coils of doom belt, but black. And then these are blow-molded guns. Go to the next slide. Look at the irony of the Schmeiser and the 30 caliber machine gun together. How ironic this is Argentina. I'm not making any political statements. Okay, you can go to the next slide. This is the judo set. What's really fascinating, it's really thin material, and the uniform's really thin, but the mat, the orange mat below that is really cool. Go to the next slide. That's a really cool mat. And he's got the belts, and that's ironic they don't have a black heart. He does have a black heart on. But I don't know about the other colors. You go to the next slide. This is a great set. Oh, talk about a cool set. This is their paratrooper. And that uniform is a jumpsuit, and he's got a brown helmet. You go to the next slide. I brought this guy with us, and I think this is probably one of the coolest Argentinian sets, just because it's, parachute guy and it's cool and all that. You go to the next one. Look at the backpack. Oh, that's pretty awesome. All right, go to the next slide. This is their track. And I will say, you can kind of tell this guy's falling apart because his legs are, the legs in the Argentinian guys, in a muscle body, Joe, the legs are almost always solid. Boy, on these Argentinian guys, the legs are just wobbly. And I'll tell you, those boots, those white boots that are there, they look like knockoff boots. But that's what came with the set. You go to the next one. This is the military police. Very cool. Go to the next slide. He also has that French machine gun. And a white belt made with ammo pouches and a holster. That sticker up there is like just to melt them off. And those helmets are really not very high quality. And what's really interesting about this is that snaps it as a Velcro to keep it together. Okay, the next one. A lot of Argentina stuff has Velcro tags, which is kind of a bummer. Okay, the next one. Look at those scuba suits, or the scuba tanks, and the knife, the spear gun. Really, really cool. There are actually a couple different versions of this, and that's the same raft as the Mexican one, just as any part on it. It's a different color. And the plug is different, you can tell it's weird. Go ahead and go to the next one. Now this is combat. What's interesting about combat is there's about 4 different versions I've found. There's the jumpsuit version, there's the shirt and top version, and there's another version that just has long sleeve shirt and pants. And then there's a tiger stripe version. Go to the next slide. There's this one. It's got short sleeves. And then you go to the next one. And there's the tiger stripe one. You go to the next one. This is really a weird set because I don't know how many of these silver things we've all found in junk boxes. But this is some sort of I don't know if in Argentina they were just buying stuff from the States and finding, oh, that's kind of cool, let's go copy that one, and that's that silver knockoff thing, let's make a white one. Yes? Go ahead to the next. This is the race car driver, which I think is really cool. It's got a really cheap blow-molded helmet and trophy. But you can also buy that car or that uniform just on the car. And I don't know if the trophy and the hat came with something else, but I do know that uniform comes on the car. You go to that next slide. And that's that uniform on the slide, but it doesn't have the trophy. So I'm not sure how that came. You go to the next one. Now this is the camping stuff, and I think this is really interesting because there's a ton of variety in camping. I mean, every one of them has a different color hat, a different sweater, and I'm assuming they just got a bunch of yarn and just had people knit the stuff. I don't know how they did it, but you can go to the next one. I mean, here's one with the white, and this is the big card with the green, Go to the next one. Different color sleeve hat, different color hat, different color sweater, same stuff. Next one. You go to the next one. Now what's interesting is if you can look at a canteen, and that canteen even looks weird. It just doesn't look the same. It has a flat bottom. And then what they did is they taped on the accessories, so sometimes on the cards they fall off real easy. They're not sewn on. You go to the next card. And here's that set, and then there's just the marking on the sleeping bag, so you can see it up close. And that is somewhat similar to the Raging River Dam Up or the Lake Shoe ones, and it's similar but different. Okay, you go to the next one. This is a figure in the box. I think this is really pretty cool. And this is their Spy Island type guy. You can go to the next one. And this is the counter-espionage, which is similar, but has like that little crazy, it's got almost got a bulletproof vest, kind of like that Action Man SAS stuff. You can go to the next one. And that's what that is right there. And again, he's got that French rifle. But you look at those pants, man. I mean, just look at that uniform. It's just different. You know, it's different color and kind of thin. And even the wrap is a different, shape and all that. You go to the next slide. And there's another version of it with the figure on it. And it comes with scuba tanks. Why, I don't know. But it's also got the carbine, blow mold. I mean, these are all plastic blow molded guns. Okay, so the next one. This is my favorite Argentinian guy. And Becker has this one in the box. And this one is, the box apparently is very funny because it says something like, adventurer, and, go on this, and go on that, and go smoking. Okay. And he comes with a little belt, he comes with that rifle too. But that's probably my favorite guy. I brought him too along. And once you see the material, those pants and the jacket, whoa. Anyway, I'll keep the next one. Now we're going to move over to, this is the Argentinian late issue stuff, which they got kind of the Defender type stuff. You go to the next one. And sorry about the glare, but look at those pants and that yellow helmet. And that's just a Defender blow mold body. I mean, I can't tell much of a difference. Go to the next one. And that's the back side of those packages. Cool artwork. Very similar. Go to the next one. And there's another one. The Super Marios. Lost Marios. And you can go to the next one. Now we're going to Uruguay. Boy, you guys want to talk about cheap stuff. It's so cheap, it's cool. I mean, it looks like what you walk by in the drugstore when you were 12, And it's quite ironic, but it is what it is. It's quite fascinating. And let's go to the next slide here. And there he is. I pulled him out of the box. Look at those brown jack boots. And he's got a little belt and those, and he's angry too. Go to the next slide. Here's his accessories, and I mean the rifle. If you look at the rifle, it's got a hard plastic strap, and then that ammo belt, something I've never seen. But the brown boots are really kind of silly, and there's not even a snap or a piece of Velcro to keep that uniform together other than that belt. So let's hope the wind doesn't blow.
Are those boots not the Canadian Mountie?
They look like that, but they are, I will tell you, Randy, you would look at those things and you go, there's no way those things went with the Mountie. The Mounties, the Mounties are hard, like the vintage ones and firm. These are really soft and thin.
Okay.
And, go to the next one. And there's his body.
Whoa.
That's not 20-some points of articulation, I think. And go to the next one. And here's his buddy, the mountain climber. And I think his face is really interesting. He's a lot happier, although he's more melancholy, I think.
Bill Murray.
Yeah. And you can go ahead and do the next slide on this, and you can see. Yeah, well, maybe he's more shafted, Yeah. And go to the next one there. And there's his accessories. And again, it's that similar pistol that the cowboy had in Argentina. And then look at that crazy knife. And you can tell they just bolted it. I mean, I'm talking like those things they're not going to snap and break. They're very soft plastic. And the axe and the shovel. The pick. Go to the next one. Now this is what I call the lunch tray. This is really, I mean, you pick it up and you feel like it's going to fall apart in your hands. And this is another melancholy-looking figure. And but look at the upper right corner. That is a British helmet shot in white. And then what I think is also really interesting is there's that flashlight, that blue flashlight down in the left lower corner, and that's another piece that everybody with their dog saw in red in a knockoff box as a flashlight. It's got also, what I find ironic, it's got 2 sets of boots. I guess you're going to change your boots to chin match your hat. All right, let's go on to the next one. Now here's the girls. And what's really weird about the girls is they got big heads. And they're bizarre. You got to holster those so don't mess with her. And yeah, they're really, I mean, like if G.I. Joe's going to go on a date with her, I'd be concerned. It's not like the nurse. Anyway, we need to go on to the next slide. Okay, now we're going on to Falcon. We've gone to Brazil now. And Leonardo, I left my notes in the other room, so Leonardo's been my salvager, telling me, again, the point that I want to make to you guys is that I'm learning too. And so if anybody has anything to share with me or whatever, I'm all ears because I want to learn. Anyway, well, this is the helicopter. But the coolest thing about the helicopter is it's not only it's black, but you go to the next slide. It's got a black tinted shield, which I think is really cool. And that's my lovely reflection in there. You can go to the next slide. This is the command post. And very similar to the vendor set, and then there's also a Argentina set that's similar to this. One thing I'll say about you can't say about Mexico or Uruguay or Argentina is the overall quality of the Brazilian stuff is pretty much on par with G.I. Joe. I mean, well cast. Solid stuff, unlike the Mexican and the Argentina stuff, which sometimes is pretty flimsy. I think the more I learn about Brazil stuff, the more you love it. It's really cool. Let's go to the next slide. Here's the back of it. I'll just show you some sets. I think I brought most of those there. All right, so let's take the next one. This is the famous Nautilus. This is a very desirable set. The coolest is it's pretty much the sea sled with a different logo on it. You can go to the next one. Go to the next one. It's a little bit of a different color, but you can see the scuba tanks are different, and obviously the coolest thing is the manta ray being brown. You go to the next one. And like everything in Brazil, it's marked really well like Hasbro stuff, which is great. Not everything, but most of it is. And you go to the next one. Here's the instructions that came with that. Really pretty cool. And you go to the next one. And there's the bag uniform, which I think is just interesting because it's like, okay, it's not sealed, it's just with the twist tie on it. And those shorts are something else, guys. Those shorts make Speedos look good. You go to the next one. And this is another one, and I'm assuming this is Danger to the Depths of some sort. And it's, the suits, get a load of this, guys. The suits right there, too. But look at that sled. That sled's bright blue again. And then you can notice that the flag is a little bit different. And the shark is actually different, too. You go to the next one. The shark has black, the actual gills have been painted, which I think is a great touch. And I brought one of the sharks with us so we can look at it. So you can see the string is a little thicker on the buoy and all that. You know the next slide. And this is their deep sea diver. And I think this is fascinating for a couple of reasons. First of all, you got that red blow piece, and then you've got the Captain Action logo, or the Estrella logo on the chest. But what I find also interesting is the map is different, and the map is different than the Levy one as well. So I think that's pretty cool. Jimmy, go to the next one. There's a close-up of that map. You can see a little better. It's pretty neat. All right, you go to the next one. Okay, now this is the pilot. This is the one, this is what we call the pilot, and I learned something that those accessories below, I thought went with it, but they do not. They are actually to a separate car, but what's so cool is you can see just looking at it. You can go to the next slide. What you can see by what's so neat about it is, I mean, the blue grease gun, the blue flamethrower, and then the silver light with the lens. I mean, that's what Joe was doing in the, at the late run when they were finally putting the different colored lens in it, not just a sticker. There are two different variations of the pilot helmet. One of them has the stripe and one of them doesn't. And then that flashlight's just a gold flashlight. You can go to the next one. Okay, this is pretty cool. This is the holster that goes with the pilot. And that is the exact same deal as the Adventure Team shoulder holster, except it's way shorter and they changed the angle so that it's a belt, this pistol belt. You know the next one? Okay, I brought this set with me, and obviously this is, just like our set, but I think it's really cool how, you go to the next slide. It's similar yet different. Now the rescue raft is actually a different set. That is, it was the challenge of the raging seas that we've talked about, and I just think that's a great name. But it's essentially exactly like what we've got. It's got the raft in it and all that. Now go to the next slide. This is what I think is really cool about the belt on this guy. There's a couple things to look at. They're really cheap. Obviously, the words are different for the snake bite kit and the water purification. But what's also really cool is that canteen, and that's all their canteens has that little hook on it. And it's just a little different. And you can also tell it's different with the shirt's got big giant buttons on it. That the trap that you see there is identical to G.I. Joe, except it is marked Estrella, which I think is really cool. You go to the next slide. You can see it's marked on there. Now, did we determine that rifle was incorrect for that set, or that rifle's okay with that set, that rifle's okay with it? So you can go to the next slide. Now, again, this is two different sets here. This apparently is the basic brown hair. This is their Eagle Eye. This is one of their Eagle Eye guys too. And he came out in the 80s, is that correct? In 1980? 79. And this sweater is one of the basic figures. This is how he came with that big sweater. And then the signal flasher is there too. And what's neat is it's got that different color button. And you go to the next slide. And it's actually got, here's the back of it. Go to the next slide too. What I think is interesting about this is look at the headphones on it. It's got the Action Man style headphones, and then it's obviously, like you can see, made in Brazil, Australia. I think it's really neat. Can you go to the next one? This is a card I brought. I brought this one with us. Just, the shrink wrap and all that. I'll tell you another thing that's really cool about this set that the Strilla got right. See those dynamite sticks? How many of us have dynamite sticks with broken, wicks? Those are rubber wicks. They did it right. They figured it out. But it's just neat. All right, go to the next one. Okay. This is to me, this is my favorite Brazilian set. Because what they did is they took my very favorite 70s set, which is this Skydiver Danger, and combined it with Shucking Escape. And that's what was really cool about what Brazil did, is they just kind of put a different spin and rethought things different. And I brought this piece loose so you can kind of see it. There's a couple things that are really, you go to the next slide. A couple things that are really, 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 to me, interesting about it is, look at the helmet, which is obviously the Black Widow Rendezvous helmet. But if you look at the way they constructed it, it's got more like little pegs, so that instead of the rivets in there for the diving. And the blue rope actually came with the set. And what's interesting is when you see this, when you guys come to the booth and look at it, look at the pieces. You'll notice that you go, oh, that's Shocking Escape. Well, it looks like Shocking Escape, but you can tell it's a different yellow. It's just a different color. It just looks a little different. You can go to the next one. And now this is Lifeline Catapult, but this one is the one that came with the eagle, right? Now, this is I feel, I'm sorry I didn't bring this, but do you guys know the Big Jim eagle? You guys are familiar with the eagle that came with Big Jim, and then it came with He-Man later? They took that same eagle and put that with this set. Now there's another animal that I actually did bring with me, but those eagles are identical. I mean, they look exactly the same. You can find the Mattel one that has a Mattel logo on it, but the Brazilian one is not marked. Is that correct? It has no markings on it at all. And I apologize, I did not bring the eagle, but you can go to the next slide. Here's our medic, and apparently I'm missing a armband for him, and I'm sure that's going to be super easy for me to find, right? But he did come with a machine gun, which I think is cool, and the black, what's really interesting is the black flare gun is apparently very difficult to find as well. You can go to the next one. The red crosses on those are just screen prints on a piece of clear acetate that's glued on there, so those kind of fall off. You go to the next one. And here's Fantastic Free Fall. And I remember I was at a show, it was probably 10 or 12 years ago, and some guy came up to me and showed this to me and said he wanted $400 for it. And I laughed at it going, that's just a Fantastic Free Fall. Little did I know how different it really was. And it's cool, you know, the helmet's a slightly different color, the backpack obviously is marked, and what's really neat is that blue piece that kind of keeps everything together there. It's pretty cool. You can go to the next slide. This is aerial recon, and I did bring this set along, this card along too, so you can see it. And again, it's almost identical to the G.I. Joe one. You go to the next slide. It's almost identical, but the cloth is different. It's a different kind of cloth, and the plastic is different too. You can just, when you see it, you kind of just tell it looks just a little bit of a different color, it almost looks denser for some reason, but I'm sure it's not, just the color. You go to the next one. You can kind of see a close-up of the material, how it's more of a cottony material, and then you can also tell the difference in that mask and how the helmet goes. Okay, you go to the next slide. And this again is another kind of basic. Apparently, that gold rifle does not go with it. I think that's Action Team. Again, guys, I'm learning, so I want to thank Leonardo for sharing that with me. That came with the black rifle, not with the gold rifle. I like the buttons. Buttons are cool. You go to the next one. I brought this along too, and this is the high voltage set. And you know, from a distance, other than the sign, it doesn't look a whole lot different, but I do like how they did the buttons. But when you see the set up close, you're going to really tell how it's different, because they also have the card and high voltage next to it as well. Go ahead and show us the next slide. But that's the actual figure. Now the mask is the same, the sign is different, but the actual suit is different too, and that's what's cool. And it's really neat. You can go to the next one. And this is a basic figure that's called Secret Agent, correct? Secret Agent, we decided. And this is really neat, because go to the next slide. That is cool. I really like how they put the walkie-talkie in there. You know, I think it's a neat redesign of the spy case that Hasbro made. I think that's really, really well done. High quality, really solid plastic, all that kind of stuff. Can you go to the next one? And there's our buddy Torak. It was a little bit weird, but I like him. He's a silver dude. And here's his boss. You go to the next slide. And there's his boss, Mr. Condor. And I don't know, did they have cartoons and comics? Was there stories to these? It was just like make it as you go, right? G.I. Joe style. This is really cool. It's a great set. Go to the next one. Now we're into this thing called the Futurista stuff. And look at that belt again. Now Leonardo told me that is a very, very hard belt to find. And again, what's funny to me is it looks just like another quality knockoff you find in the junk box. but it is slightly different. And I brought up a sample of that shield, and that gun is actually the Action Man space gun that they put blue glitter on. I got one of those that you can hang on to. It's really, really cool. Okay, you go to the next one. That's his mask. You can see his mask with it's in front of there. You go to the next one. High quality buttons, man. They like their big buttons. And but it's just a little knit uniform. It's really cute. Go to the next one. And this is another. If you can look at that eagle eye guy too. He's a little crazy. That gun to me, I love that gun. That is I call it the condom gun. I don't know. Is there a name for that gun? I don't know. But I really love it. And what's really cool is those boots are really different. Those boots are really hard. You go to the next slide. Those boots are not like what you see on G.I. Joe. And I didn't realize this, but Leonardo told me that this was part of the boots apparently are hard to find, so that was an inspiration for those guys to get these things recast. And there's the gun. Anyway, you can go to the next slide. Now, this is the futuristic helicopter pilot, and he's the guy that's supposed to fly the black helicopter. And some of the accessories that come with this guy, I brought this guy along, are truly, truly amazing. Go to the next slide. That's a silver-plated wand. Those are gold hand grenades. I'm sure they're expensive. They're red walkie-talkie.
Another set base.
That's from another set. Oh, this is the one that's from another set?
The pilot, the only thing that came with him was the helmet.
It's just, oh, that's right. We did talk about this. I told you I forgot my notes. But this is but this isn't the futuristic helicopter guy?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the futuristic helicopter.
He's a Falcon 8. He came up with 3 from the 1980s.
Gotcha. But what's interesting too is that that piece up on that looks like the top from the aerial recon, that's silver too. I don't know what it's supposed to be. You go to the next one. And this is one of the other 80 figures, and this kind of obviously has a Super Joe look to him. Okay, go to the next slide. And this is another one of the futuristic guys, and he's got this crazy white, cheap-looking suit, which has really got crazy colored stripes. But what's awesome is he's got the silver holster, and he's got the clear orange pistol. I think those accessories I brought one of those orange pistols too that we can look at. You can take it to the next slide. And those are just like little vacuum form masks, and they are extremely fragile, and they will fall apart just looking at them. You can go to the next slide. And there's a close-up of that. And again, it's the color stripe is kind of similar to that the Canadian Indian thing with those crazy colors, but it's a polyester deal. You can go to the next slide. And there's those black boots. You can just tell they're different. Go to the next one. And here's the other guy with the red boots, and he's got the condom gun too. You go to the next slide. Here's some pieces. Go to the next one. And that's a close-up of those little blow-molded masks. Now, how many of those masks are there, Leonardo? You know how many of those masks there are? Yeah. But, I mean, different faces. There's 4 different faces? Okay. All right, you go to the next one. And this was another one of the basic figures, correct? This came out like this, and this is a tracksuit, and a little crazy. And that is a really well-made tracksuit. I'm telling you, it's not gonna get a hole in it like this Spy one will. Go ahead and do the next slide. Close on his face. You go to the next one. And there's the back side of it. A really, really high quality tracksuit. It's for leisure around, open up presents on Christmas morning, just put that thing on. All right, you go to the next one. All right, guys, this is a really awesome set. This has got the figures, the monkeys on this one are exactly, George Gray has the little set that Mattel made for Big Jim that had the monkey that had the net that flew. And that is the exact same gorilla with a different little mechanism on the back. I brought a couple of those gorillas with me. Go to the next slide. This is the actual figure, and to me, it's really amazing. It's got the backpack that's got the raging river, but they put a trap on the side. They redesigned it and made a little backpack out of it and put the little trap on there. And it's got this brown gun that's really amazing. You go to the next slide. There's the set, the little pieces that went with it. That net went into the backpack, and that gun is just the same, but it's brown. It's really cool. Now the Brazilian guns, they're the harder plastic. They're not the softer, so they're very fragile as well. Go to the next slide. And here's the monkeys. Now one of the monkeys is the Mattel monkey, and one of the monkeys is the Brazil monkey. And as you can tell, they